Right, colouring in your doodles. Well, before we start colouring in your doodles, you need some doodles. So I'm going to put together, or I am putting together, some very simple robot shapes, joined together with their usual little wiggly line joints, I call them. They're little articulations that could be elbows, shoulders, knees, ankles, whatever you like. Just join the bits together. And the other bits, they're just shapes. And if you draw two holes in a shape, you've drawn a little robot thing, not necessarily a person, but it gives it eyes and it becomes a thing. I think it does anyway. I'm just going for it. I'm not really sure what these are. Those little eyes turned it into a. I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do a proper face. And again, it's three circles, one each for the eyes and one for the head, and then a few rivets and teeth. That's it. It's dead simple, and it's such fun to do. And nobody can judge you. I'm working with a black Posca paint pen because the colouring is going to be done with a watercolour brush. And the Poscas are totally waterproof and they're a good rich black, so the colour over the top should leave the black outline. I've just drawn a mouth, a three-dimensional mouth. Well, there you go. Yes, watercolour markers, or watercolour pens, or whatever you call them. That's how I'm going to work on top of these. I'm no great watercolourist, so I'm looking forward to try these out. I'm going to work with a very limited palette because these pens I'm using are very expensive. So I've only got half a dozen. So here we go. Now the plan is to use a very dark colour and then push it round with a lighter colour. So I put a dark brown on there and I'm just pushing it round with an ochre or a pale yellow. And that's giving quite a satisfying soft edge to it. I'm quite enjoying this. It's like painting. And of course your brush is left a little bit dirty, or your pen is left a little bit dirty here because they're water-based. So you can use that slightly mucky tip to do other bits. There you go. Bit of shade in there. Little spots would be for texture or whatever. This is really nice. They're quite glowing on the paper. I don't know how they're going to look on the video, but they do glow nicely on the paper. I'll put a bit of pink on that one, a bit of warmth. There's a colour I never thought I'd use. And look what he's done now. He's getting his blue out. That's it. And that's the famous finger smudge that everyone who's ever done anything with colours knows. The blob of watercolour on the paper is just too heavy. Just give it a little push with your finger. There you go. Demonstrated perfectly. Very pleased with that. Right. Let's see. Right. Next stage. I've got a fine point paint pen, which lies nicely on top of the dried out watercolour. And I've got my white gel pen just to. I'm not actually putting highlights in. I'm just outlining stuff. It's not a complicated process. Those little dots on top of the black dots make them look like three-dimensional rivets. I'm very pleased with that. As with all doodling, you reach a stage where you stop, or you carry on and mess it all up, or turn over and go on the next page and do another one, then come back to this one and check it out, which I think is always a good plan. Anyway, thank you for watching. We're going to do a fade to black in a second. Come on, leave it alone. It's had enough. I've got a video that I haven't put on Instagram yet where the doodle says, "Stop, I've had enough." And you don't know if it's going to say that until you put your pen down and have a look at it and think, otherwise you just get a bit carried away and the whole thing gets very muddy. But we're not there yet with this. This is still looking quite vibrant, bright. Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, do subscribe. And if you're on IGTV, that's good too. No idea what the call to action is. Follow me, please, or something. No idea. That's it. That's almost a wrap, as they say. Fade to black. Thank you again for watching.